Hello my friends. Today we're going to be going over on how to solve this problem here. So it's asking us to find the limit where the limit is x approaches 2 of the equation 6x squared minus 13x plus 2 divided by 2x squared minus 8. Okay, so how do we find the limit? So to find the limit, we should plug in the number that we're approaching into the equation and see what we get. So, however, if you see that if we plug in 2 to this equation, it'll give us 2 times 4 minus 8, which is 8 minus 8, which is equal to 0. And as you know, dividing by 0 is not allowed, okay? Which means we gotta find another way how to solve this problem. Alright, so what do? Well, we should factor out the numerator and denominator. Okay, so that's what we should do first. So looking at the numerator, let me write the numerator over here. This is the numerator. So writing it over here, it will have 6x squared minus 13x plus 2. And now we want to factor this. Okay, so how do we factor again? Well, remember, the two factor numbers should equal to a times c and add to b, okay, which this is b. So in this case, our value should multiply to 6 times 2, which is 12, and add to negative 13. So can you think of what that is? Well, that is negative 12 and negative 1, because negative 12 times negative 1 multiplies to 12, and negative 12 plus negative 1 is negative 13. Okay, so we have our two factor values. So now we break apart the negative 13x into negative 12x and negative 1x. Okay, so we have 6x squared minus, I'm going to put the 12x first, since I already know that 6x is a factor of 12x, minus 1x plus 2. Okay, so now I break apart these two terms, and I factor out a value from each of them, and I want to make it so a factor, both of these terms have a common factor, okay? So let's see what we could take out the first one. First one, we could take out 6x, giving us, take out 6x, that's just x minus 2. And here we could take out negative 1 in order for us to get x minus 2, so the common value between these two here. Alright, so now we basically factor out x minus 2 from both of these terms to give us x minus 2, 6x minus 1. Okay? So this is now this equation factored. So let's rewrite the numerator. X minus 2, 6x minus 1. And now let us factor the denominator. So the denominator is not as complex as the top, so you can see there's only 2 terms. And let's see, this term does not have an x, so we can't just factor out x, which means we should look what we can factor out, and we can factor out a 2 from here. So we can factor out a 2, which gives us x squared minus 4. Okay, but notice that this is a perfect, it's a sum of squares, okay? So sum of squares basically means that x plus a times x minus, not 2, sorry, a is equal to x squared minus a squared. Okay? So we have x squared minus 4 as this. So which means x squared we already have, and a squared is equal to 4. So what is a equal to then? So let's just square root that. And that will give us a is equal to 2. Our new denominator is x plus 2, x minus 2, all multiplied by the 2 at the beginning, okay? So now let's rewrite this into our new equation. For purposes, I'm going to write x minus 2 first, or I'll write the 2 first, and then x plus 2. Alright, so notice, if we still plug in the 2 here to find the limit, this equation will still equal 0, which we don't want. So what can we do? Well, I don't know if you noticed, but we have terms being multiplied here, and we have a common term between the numerator and the denominator. And that term is negative x minus 2, which means we could cancel out from the numerator and the denominator, giving us a new equation of 6x minus 1 over 2 times x plus 2. And notice, so in this equation, if we plug in 2, we will not get a denominator of 0, which means we can use this equation to find the limit. Okay, so here we have our new equation, our new modified equation, and now let's just plug in 2 to find the limit. So 6 times 2 minus 1 over 2, 2 plus 2, is equal to 12 minus 1 over 2 times 4 is equal to 11 over 8. So 11/8, that is our answer. That is the limit of this function, which means that the function is approaching 11/8. So also it's worth noting that f of 2 is not equal to 11/8. Only limit of x to 2 is equal to 11 over 8. There's actually a hole here in the equation, but this is our limit. So that is our answer. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. See you next time. Bye.